There's a specific kind of silence that happens at 11:47 at night when a 34-year-old man named Daniel sits on the edge of his bed with his phone face down on his thigh. He already knows his checking account balance. He checked it at 9:15. He checked it again at 10:30. He's about to check it a third time, not because anything has changed, but because the act of checking is the only thing that lowers his heart rate for about 90 seconds before it climbs again. His car insurance auto-drafted on Tuesday. He has $4,200 in checking, $11,000 in a savings account he calls his just-in-case fund, and a credit card with a balance he pays off every month. By every external measure, Daniel is fine. He is, statistically, doing better than most people his age in his city. And yet, when his phone vibrates with an email notification, his stomach drops half an inch before he even sees what it is. This is what no one tells you about money. Long after the crisis ends, the body keeps treating it like a crisis. The numbers improve. The nervous system doesn't get the memo. What we're really going to talk about today is the day that signal finally turns off, and why, for most people, it never does. To understand it, you have to understand what money actually becomes inside a person who has spent years living close to the edge. It stops being a tool. It becomes a weather system. You wake up and check it the way farmers used to check the sky. You don't think about it consciously. You scan for it. A text from your landlord, a higher than expected grocery total, a coworker mentioning layoffs. These don't register as information. They register as threats. Your shoulders move before your thoughts do. People assume this feeling is caused by not having enough money. It isn't. It's caused by years of your brain learning that money is the thing standing between you and humiliation, instability, or the loss of the small, dignified life you've built. Once your brain learns that, it doesn't unlearn it just because your balance grew. This is the first thing that has to shift in your understanding. Financial anxiety is not a math problem. It's a memory problem. Your body remembers the month you ate the same pasta for 11 days. It remembers the call from your mother asking if you could help with her electric bill when you couldn't help yourself. It remembers the specific shame of declining a friend's dinner invitation and pretending you were busy. Those memories don't disappear when your paycheck doubles. They just go quiet, waiting for the next sound that resembles danger. So when does it actually stop? Not at a number. That's the part almost everyone gets wrong. Watch happens when someone gets a raise. For about 6 weeks, they feel lighter. Their shoulders drop. They order the appetizer. Then, slowly, a new baseline forms. The apartment gets slightly nicer. The car payment grows. The streaming subscriptions multiply quietly in the background. Within a year, the same person who felt rescued by the raise is checking their account at 11:47 at night with the same low hum of fear they had before. The emergency didn't end. It just upgraded its address. This is the second shift you have to make. The emergency is not external. It's a relationship. It's the relationship between you and your own sense of safety. And money has been the unstable middleman for so long, you've forgotten there was supposed to be an actual feeling underneath it, called calm. Think about what an emergency actually is. An emergency is a situation where your attention is hijacked, your options narrow, and your decisions become reactive. Now ask yourself honestly, how often does money put you in that state, even when nothing is technically wrong? A surprise $180 car repair shouldn't feel like a small grief. A friend suggesting a weekend trip shouldn't feel like a math equation you have to hide. A medical bill arriving in the mail shouldn't make your hand pause on the envelope. But for millions of people, it does. Not because they can't afford it. Because their body has rehearsed catastrophe so many times, it doesn't know how to stop. There's a woman I think about sometimes. Let's call her Priya, 39, a project manager making $94,000 a year. She has $46,000 in retirement, $18,000 in savings, no credit card debt. She is, on paper, the success story her parents prayed for when they moved countries. And she told me once, very quietly, that she has not felt financially safe a single day of her adult life. Not one. She said it the way people confess things they're slightly ashamed of, as if her own competence had betrayed her by failing to produce peace. What Priya was describing is the gap between financial stability and felt stability. Almost no one talks about it because admitting it sounds ungrateful, but the gap is real, and it is enormous, and it is where most of modern adult anxiety actually lives. Here is the third shift, and it's the one that changes everything. The day money stops feeling like an emergency is not the day you hit a certain net worth. It's the day you stop outsourcing your sense of safety to your bank account. It's the day the number in your app stops being the thermostat for your nervous system. That day doesn't arrive by accident. It's built, slowly, through specific, quiet decisions most people never make. It's built when you stop checking your balance compulsively and start checking it on a schedule. It's built when you create one boring, automatic system, a fixed savings transfer, a known monthly budget, a small buffer you don't touch, and let that system carry the weight your anxiety used to carry. It's built when you stop letting every small expense pass through the courtroom of your self-worth. It's built when you accept that a $40 dinner is not a referendum on your discipline, and a $300 unexpected bill is not a sign that the universe is closing in on you. And it's built, most importantly, when you start letting yourself feel safe before the conditions for safety are perfect. Because if you wait for the conditions to be perfect, you will be 67 years old, still checking your account at 11:47 at night, still flinching at notifications, still treating a stable life like a temporary illusion that could be repossessed at any moment. I want you to picture what it would actually feel like, not the fantasy of being rich, something smaller and stranger and far more valuable. Imagine opening your banking app and feeling, simply, information. No spike, no dread, no quiet calculation about what you're allowed to want this week. Just numbers, the way a thermometer shows temperature. That state exists. People live in it, and almost none of them got there by earning their way out. They got there by slowly, deliberately changing what money was allowed to mean inside them. This is the part no financial advisor will tell you, because they're paid to optimize the number, not the nervous system. But the number is not the prize. The prize is the moment you realize you've been carrying an emergency in your chest for so long, you mistook it for your personality. The prize is the moment you set it down and discover the person underneath was always there, waiting, quieter than you expected. If this is the kind of conversation you've been quietly looking for, the financial truth that doesn't shout at you, doesn't sell you anything, doesn't pretend money is simple, then this channel is built for people like you, and staying around will make sense without me having to convince you. Before you go, I want you to sit with one question honestly. When was the last time you felt financially safe? Not stable, not okay, but actually safe. And if you can't remember, what would it take, in your real life, with your real numbers, for that feeling to begin? Leave it below. Not for me, for you. Sometimes writing the sentence is the first time you hear it, because here is the truth almost no one says out loud. Most people will never run out of money. They will run out of years spent acting like they were about to.